Yeah. Hey, what's up, y'all? We here. Hold on, let me drink some coffee, get it right real quick. You dig? Hey. Hold on. Man, this motherfucker walks slow. Speaking. That nigga say he walking. Hey. Kobe. Hey. There we go. Get my Kobe on real quick. Hey. Jelly Bean Bryant. Alright, let me switch this shit. Let me get the ball. Oh, he shot that. Sheesh. Look at the ball. He ain't passing it still. Okay. They ain't even need me. First two plays. Hey. Oh, come on, man. I should have stole that. Look at my dude's defense. What is that? I try to just pull up, man. Oh, the same play again? Trying to put my catch and shoot bag. I let it go too early? Yeah, my bad. See? Starting out bad today. Yesterday I was good. I'll go with my shit right. No! They don't even want to pass it now. Oh, come on, D-Rose. There we go. D-Rose. Compton. Got out D-Rose in for the pass, you know what I'm saying? Got my first shot in. I was in a slump, shooting slump. I needed my teammate to set me up, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, let's look at what we got over here too. Shit.
Shooting two.
Hey.
talk out there, all right? Help each other out.
You got it.
Body his ass. Look, hey, they fighting. Damn. The hands. Okay, that's a terrible first quarter. What, I made one shot? It's fucking trash. I'll be right back. Hey. Can't get my catch and shoot, but we gotta win the game now. Holy, I can't make a layup. Dude. Come on, man. I'm supposed to make that. It's fucked up. That's definitely a foul. They trying to win, shit. Alright, I gotta get to the mid-range. I ain't making no threes. Yeah, they are. All right, mid-range. There we go. Unless they leave me open for three. Okay, how am I gonna score 50 points this game? Don't look like I am. Oh, that's shit. Oh yeah, let's go. That's too quick. Let's go. Who's that, Jordan Poole? Oh shit. I'm glad I called my takeover. I lost like fucking, it's crazy. They took some of it for the timeout. Bro, get out of the way. Okay. Oh, I couldn't get him. I couldn't shake him. I could have, but I didn't. Hey, good defense. Let's go. Why they take it so long now? Double team somebody. There we go. Fuck it. Let me get the ball, bro. Bro, what are y'all doing? Oh. What? My dude is ass right now. What happened? 11 points. This shit crazy. These niggas wasting all my takeover. There we go. Oh, come on, 2K. Let me steal something. These niggas tripping. Kuzma can't shoot. Get that. Oh, I'm super off right now. $16. I can still make it a good game. Sheesh. Halftime.
Good start. Hey, good start.
I'm looking for some videos and shit.
Hey
guys, that dude be coming out quick. Like, bro, chill. Like, I ain't even like, you know what I mean? Just clicking on the video to get it right. And then, hey guys. Peace. Nah, I'm just joking. Shout out to him and whatever he doing over there and shit. That shit player. You dig? Let's get into some of this real quick in the background, some philosophy or some shit, you know? Maybe not psychic phenomena. I ain't really into that shit like that. Psychic phenomena. That's a weird word. Weird word. Oh God. Now I'm fucking up and I can't talk. I'm tongue twisting and shit. God damn. All right. Afghanistan got heroin. Yeah, that's old news, bro. Alright, I'm gonna play better this half. I promise. Let's see. Like serious, like if I was in the body of this character, you know what I mean? I can't backdoor cut like I used to be able to in this game. But I do that though. Like I said, I'm gonna play like I'm really in the body. No homo, right? That's what they saying. Do they even say that anymore? Or is that homophobic? I don't know. Holy shit. Oh, that was some pretty good defense though. I'm happy with that defense. Like if I was in the body. Oh, is the double team coming? Oh, it should be. Hold on. Oh, get out the way, Lonzo. Lonzo, I need you to move. Oh. That's what I'm talking about. Footwork. Let's go. Oh, get that. I'm in the body now, bro. I'm in there. Yeah. Uh-huh. I was on that one. Seen that bullshit coming my way, bro. Uh-oh. I'm in the body, bro. You gotta get here. Oh. You gotta get here. Uh-oh. Oh, we're bubbling. Yeah, good switch. Good switch, though. Let's go. Let's get it. Come on, man. That's supposed to be in, bro. Ooh, that could have been a foul. Let's go. It's still close. What? Ah, I got caught. Oh, he can't even shoot. Hey. Over the top.
That's your shot, MP.
Ah, come on, bro. That's on me. I should have stole that. I seen it coming too. Ooh, he flexing. All right. All right, I need you to move, bro. Oh. Oh, come on, bro. That's crazy. They done, I'm about to say they done tied it up. All right, fuck it. Let me just do this. Hey, let's go. A little off-ball screen.
Let's keep it up.
I'm trying to catch and shoot, you know what I'm saying? So I need some off-ball screens every now and again. I don't need it, but it'll be a little bit easier. It's you know what I mean? More proficient. You dig? I got my sweater over here and shit. Sheesh. Anyway. Yeah. Like Lil Wayne and shit. Where the shit at? Hold on. Here we go. Alright, let's get back to the game. Let's go. Oh yeah, I wanted to let me see if I can find some shit too. I'm over here. What is that? Spooky Fusion FX Challenge? No. Damn. Shit surprised me for a second. I'm looking for videos, bro. I don't see shit popping though. Hey, we might watch this one. Hold on.
Simple.
I knew that shit was gonna start loud as fuck. Why they always gotta start so loud? I know. Oh shit, I still got takeover. Let's go. Oh, I fucked up. Hey, that nigga took it all the way. Hey, let me get it. Oh shit, he passed already. Come on, bro, I held it too long. That's on me. That's good defense, though. I ain't gonna cap. That's why I just made a frustration foul and shit. Fuck that shit. Good defense, touche. Hey. Ooh, I stopped that video before. It's like video or video. I don't know. Hey. Oh, the double team came. He has got scared. Yeah. Come on, just pass me the ball, bro. Oh, there we go. Yeah, you gotta get healed. Hey. Get him. What the fuck? Oh, okay. I guess he was in control. Yeah, ain't shit popping really, to be honest. We're gonna make it work though. We're gonna make it do what it do. Hey, what is this one? We might have to listen to that. I don't know. We shall see. The history of photography, I already seen a lot about that shit. The history of trolley amusement parks in Foley Island. Nah. Let's see. Are we trying to win or we're trying to have fun? Hold on. Oh, hit him with that shit though. Who is that, Shaman? Come on, Shaman. I was gonna pass it, bro. Low key. Man, fuck this. They be trying to drain the clock. Let Shaman shoot it. Oh. Let's go. Oh, come on, man. I had it too. I had enough time. Just fucked it up. Hey, let's go. I found something. Hold on, wait. Maybe not. Premature. Hey, wait. Hold on. I think I did find something this time. Hey. Yeah, let's do this. Alright. Y'all ready? Alright, here we go. My boy Huey P. Newton. Shout out Huey P. Newton and his family and shit. Let's see. Is it louder than that? I gotta make it louder than that. If I can't make it louder than that,
My
that's
family
gonna be
moved from Louisiana to Oakland, primarily seeking a
That's
better
loud.
life. My father was a farmer in Louisiana and a preacher, and he moved out to the Bay Area in order to work in the shipping yards. It was a naval supply, it was called at the time. And that was the reason most blacks moved out for work, better pay, and a better life,
You're talking
hopefully.
about the political aspirations that they had, and the fact that they're native people. Can you talk about that?
Yes, my father was impressed with Huey P. Long, even though at the time in the South that blacks couldn't vote, that Huey P. Long was created the first black hospital and medical school. And even though Huey P. Long gave the pitch to the white races that they needed a black medical school and hospital because he didn't want white women seeing black men nude and so forth. My father thought Huey P. Long was using tricks in order to improve the situation for blacks at the time.
Are there specific events or relationships that have helped advance your political grounding? Things that you remember that sort of helped you inform in your blood?
Well, my family they were always interested in politics, especially my father. As when we moved to Oakland, we were connected to the. Matter of fact, my father was the assistant pastor to Antioch Baptist Church. Reverend Thomas was the pastor, and this was down on 7th Street. The church became a member of the NAACP, and matter of fact, in the early 50s, that King was invited out by a collection of churches, and that was my first time hearing King at the Oakland Auditorium, I believe. But my family was interested in improving the political and economic situation of blacks.
How did Bobby Seale and you use the anti-poverty office as a base of operation for the early work of the Black Panther Party?
Bobby Seale and I used the North Oakland Service Center as a the original work spot to put together our program. They had all the machinery, mimeograph machines and typewriters. Also, they were at the time the poverty program. The North Oakland Service Center was a part of the poverty program, and the service centers collected names of people on welfare, elderly people who needed aid. We used those lists to go around and canvass the community in order to find out the desires of the community. So we would go from house to house and explain to people our program. We printed up the first program at the North Oakland Service Center.
Why did you choose to focus on the police as a major target for?
Well, the police throughout the community, not only the Oakland community, but throughout the black communities in the country, were really the government.
Right.
We had more contact with the police than we did the city council. The police were universally disliked. In Oakland, there was about in '66, there was about October '66 when the party was founded. There was about 1% black on the police department. Shortly before that, I think in '53, Oakland had its first black policeman who was a friend of my father's. His name was Kenner. My father broke friendship with Kenner because of his membership in the Oakland Police. Not because he was a policeman, but because at the time that the policy was that Kenner could only arrest black people, and if he could detain a white, but he would have to call a white officer. My father thought this was degrading. It was no change from what was happening in the South.
Could you talk about the pattern of police brutality in
Well, the police were Southerners. Matter of fact, in '60s, they were still recruiting from Georgia because we captured some flyers, and they said that white Southerners knew how to handle these Negroes. So the police were impolite, and they were very fast to kill a black for minor offenses such as black youth stealing automobiles. They would shoot them in the back and so forth.
Damn.
I can't recall any particular names, but it was widespread dislike for the police because of their inhumane treatment of blacks.
What was the intention of putting forward the 10-point program? And you might summarize that, the 10-point program.
Well, the 10-point program tried to identify the basic needs and aspirations of black people. Within the 10-point program, we came up with basically we needed education, We needed decent housing. We wanted fair treatments in the court. We wanted medical care. We wanted the availability for food and clothing for blacks, and full employment. So the program was a comprehensive program to really lay down a blueprint for community development.
Okay. And could you talk about, was there any relationship with the Nation of Islam, and could you talk about your experiences with the Nation of Islam and how that affected the technical programs?
Well, early on, I was about in the early 60s, about 1960, 61, I had started Oakland City College. At Oakland City College, I was a member, instrumental in creating the Afro-American Association. The Afro-American Association was led by Donald Wharton. And the program was a cultural program to institute ethnic studies, African studies and Afro-American studies. From the Afro-American Association, we created from the Afro-American Association, it's stemmed the Soul Student Advisory Council, and that was the action group inside of the school. After we created the study classes, I felt that there was need to do other things to affect the wider community, and I became in contact. I came in contact with the Black Muslims. I was very impressed with Malcolm X, and Malcolm X program, or the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that Malcolm X followed, program was it was like a 10-point program. Matter of fact, that our program was structured after the pattern after the Black Muslim program. It was minus the religion, and I think that I became disillusioned with the Muslims after Malcolm X was assassinated. I think that I was following not Elijah Muhammad or the Muslims, but Malcolm X himself.
Right.
You were talking before about community control within the black community and also integration into larger institutions. Could you talk about how you believe in that philosophy and how you sort of Panthers have implemented it?
Well, a short time after I was impressed by the Muslims and disillusioned after the assassination of Malcolm X, I was studying politics, and I became interested in progressive labor and the Socialist Workers' Party. At that time, it was during the period of African liberation. Most of the African countries were liberated during the 60s from colonialism, and that we felt that there was a need for not a separate nation, but control of our dispersed communities, and we wanted control of the communities where we were most numerous, and the institutions therein. And at the same time that we felt that we were due, because of tax paying, we were due free access to and equal treatment in public facilities. And we thought everyone should have that kind of participation in public facilities.
Let's cut. Let's change.
The camera.
Second sticks.
It was a weird interview.
Okay. Again, the notion of community control in black communities and also kind of public access to public accommodations, how is that part of the Panther philosophy?
At the time, there were many black nationalist groups that were influenced by the African liberation movement. And we differed from the black American nationalist movement, and that we felt that we wanted, it wasn't our goal for segregation or integration, really. We wanted control of the institutions in our community where we were most numerous, and at the same time that we thought that we would do public to access to public institutions on an equal basis. We thought everyone should be able to equally participate in public institutions. I think that, as I remember back, I was influenced by the situation and the conditions in China, in the People's Republic of China, where there were many minority groups. I think the Huns are the majority group. All of in the areas of the minority ethnic groups, the Chinese, this ethnic minority controlled its community. Yet they had full access to the public facilities. So I thought that if it could work there, it could work here.
That's good. Could you talk about you've done a little bit, but talk about the original vision?
What is that? Oh, because I'm covered. All right.
As a local organization or as a revolutionary organization?
Crazy. I'm missing shots. Like, what the fuck?
No, I thought that it would be a national organization. I thought that with our when blacks across the country. All right. The Black Panther Party felt that we would quickly become a national organization when blacks across the country saw what we were doing in Oakland by driving out what we call the oppressive army of police, and controlling our community, the institutions in the community. We felt that the government's next move would be to bring in a National Guard to recapture these institutions. And this would connect us to the international movement and the conditions in China, in the People's Republic of China, where there were many minority groups. I think the Huns are the majority group. All of in the areas of the minority ethnic groups, the Chinese, this ethnic minority controlled its community, but yet they had full access to the public facilities. So I thought that if it could work there, it could work here.
Right.
That's good. Could you talk about you've done a little bit, but talk about the original vision of the Black Panther Party. Did you see it as a local organization or as a revolutionary organization? What, in the beginning, when you and Bobby Seale were first talking?
No, I thought that it would be a national organization. I thought that with our when blacks across the country.
Start that again in the phrase.
All right. The Black Panther Party felt that we would quickly become a national organization when blacks across the country saw what we were doing in Oakland by driving out what we call the oppressive army of police, and controlling our community, the institutions in the community. We felt that the government's next move would be to bring in a National Guard to recapture these institutions, and this would connect us to the international movement of the workers' movement, the international proletarian movement, such as what's happening in Cuba, and we were very impressed by the Cuban Revolution. And at the time of the creation of the Black Panther Party, I was introduced to Marxism, and
Marxism, yeah.
I think I had read a book called the Materialism and Empirical Criticism, and by Ivy Lenin. And at that time, that it was pointed out that there are many contradictory social forces, and if you knew what to increase or decrease at a particular time, that you could cause a transformation. And so we were trying to increase the conflict that was already happening, and that was between the white racism, the police forces in the various communities, in the black communities in the country. And we felt that we would take the conflict to a so high a level that some change had to come.
My fucking button stuck or something? He was cooking though, right
saw
there.
what we were doing in Oakland by driving out the what we should
oppressors.
be able to equally participate in public institutions. I think that, as I remember back, I was influenced by the situation and the conditions in China, in the People's Republic of China, where there were many minority groups. I think the Huns are the majority group. All of in the areas of the minority ethnic groups, the Chinese, this ethnic minority controlled its community. We get they had full access to the public facilities. So I thought that if it could work there, it could work here.
That's good. Could you talk about you've done it a little bit, but talk about the original vision of the Black Panther Party. Did you see it as a local organization or as a revolutionary organization? What, in the beginning, when you and Bobby Seale
No, I thought that it would be a national organization. I thought that with our, when blacks across the country.
Start that again in the phrase.
All right. The Black Panther Party felt that we would quickly become a national organization when blacks across the country saw what we were doing in Oakland by driving out what we call the oppressive army of police, and controlling our community, the institutions in the community. We felt that the government's next move would be to bring in a National Guard to recapture these institutions, and this would connect us to the international movement of the workers' movement, the international proletarian movement, such as what's happening in Cuba, and we're very impressed by the Cuban Revolution. And at the time of the creation of the Black Panther Party, I was introduced to Marxism, and I think I had read a book called the Materialism and Empirical Criticism, and by Ivy Lenin. And at that time, that it was pointed out that there are many contradictory social forces, and if you knew what to increase or decrease at a particular time, that you could cause a transformation. And so we were trying to increase the conflict that was already happening, and that was between the white racism, the police forces in the various communities and the black communities in the country. And we felt that we would take the conflict to so high a level that some change had to come.
Order out of chaos.
The action to gain a traffic light in front of Santa Fe Grammar School was fairly dramatic. Could you describe what happened and how that changed, and how you went about trying to do that? And also the use of theater and drama and symbolic gestures.
Yes, I went to Santa Fe Elementary School in North Oakland, and while I was there, that many children were hit by cars and so forth. There was no traffic light in front of the school. It was a very busy street, Market Street, crossing the school. So one of the first action of the Black Panther Party was to go down with our arms and be traffic police. At 3 o'clock, when the school was let out, we would stop the traffic and allow the children to pass. Of course, this was bringing an army of police in the area. They would take over the traffic jam that would occur. So, and also they would attempt to arrest us for bearing arms. But they would become aware, which they were not, that the law provided for us to bear arms at that time.
Exactly.
So we went to the city council and asked them to put up the planning commission of the city council, the Oakland City Council. So the Oakland City Council said that they had already passed some policy to put up a traffic light, but it would be about 5 years
Damn.
from
That's
66,
politics.
October 66. And we weren't satisfied with that. So we went to the community and gathered a few hundred or maybe even 1,000 or so signatures, and took those to the city council. We also would still police when the police were not there. We would
Right.
police the area, and every time we would try, the police would take over. So the purpose was served anyway. The traffic light quickly went up in about 3
Exactly.
or 4 months after that event.
That's funny.
What were your feelings when you went on the police patrols? You might describe them a little bit. How did you feel?
Well, every time we would go out on the police alert patrols or surveillance patrols, that I would feel that we might not come back. I felt that the police might shoot us because they were very disturbed, to say the least, about the presence of blacks with guns. Some of the works of Fidel Castro when he was in the Sierra Maestra. As a matter of fact, before he left Mexico, that he asked that everyone give their name of their first of kin or someone to be notified in case of their death. And when people had to do that in his guerrilla organization, everything became very serious.
Right.
And so we would, before we went on our first patrol, and anyone who would join us after, we would always ask who should be notified in case of their death. And this would make it very serious to the person.
Yeah, the Panthers are
Right,
quoted
definitely.
law. Could you
Psychological.
explain the importance of law, U.S. law to the Panthers? Was it tactical or was there a philosophical agreement? And what were some of the books that you read? What were some of the texts that you read?
Well, while I was at Oakland City College, I took a law enforcement course, and it was criminal evidence by Alcorn and Fricke, and criminal law. And this was the textbooks used by the local law enforcement agencies, and that in criminal evidence there was a section inside of the book on reasonable cause to search and reasonable cause to stop, and we would
Terry
follow
law?
the police around, and when the police would arrest or detain someone, we would read their rights to them. We would stand
Right.
at a distance where the police couldn't say they were interfering with their arrest or their detention of the individual, and make sure that there was no brutality. Of course, this turned the wrath of the police on towards the party. And if they arrested anyone, we would, in some cases, we would go down to bail them out, thereby getting a new recruit in our organization.
Denzel Dowell was shot down in North Richmond in April of 1967, supposedly under some sort of fugitive or intent to commit a crime law or act or whatever. How was this death the backdrop to the May 67 visit to the Sacramento State House?
There was a law, California law, and I think it still exists. If there's reasonable cause to believe that a felony is being committed,
Right.
and if the defendant flees, it's the right of the police to detain him to capture him with any means necessary, and that's including shooting the person. Denzel Dowell was accused of tampering with the lock in the back of a store, and he was shot in the back with a shotgun in Richmond. And there was some question whether he was walking through the alley or whether he was actually trying to break into the store.
Right.
We protested his murder, and we went to the DA's office and the sheriff's department. And the sheriff told us if we didn't like the law of detaining or capturing a felon or suspected.
Damn. That's crazy.
He had to start again.
Okay. Again, the death of Denzel Down of Richmond became a motivating reason to go to Sacramento. Could you just talk about that?
Yeah, Denzel Dow was killed there in Richmond by the police and for allegedly tampering with the lock in the back of a store. And we've talked to the district attorney about his being shot in the back, and we talked to the sheriff. And they both claim that there was a justifiable shooting because if anyone is suspected of a felony and he tries to flee, then he could be detained or captured, apprehended anyway by any means necessary, including murdering the person. And the sheriffs told us if we wanted those laws changed, we could go to Sacramento to change the law.
Go to Sacramento.
And we said that we would go to Sacramento and talk to the legislature.
Okay. Why were the draft riots in October of '67, why were they significant in terms of the changing approach of the right-left? And what are some of your personal memories of the draft riots?
I went to the Oakland Induction Center, where there was a march going on, and against the recruiting of soldiers for Vietnam, and the police moved in and started to beat the demonstrators. And I heard some of the white progressives say that we need guns. And of course, we had concluded that before. We weren't armed at this particular meeting.
Damn.
Matter of fact, I think it was only Bobby and I who went down. This was shortly after the party was created. And matter of fact, after that event, that we had a closer relationship with the white progressives in the area. At that time, we called them white radicals.
White radicals.
What happened that night in October of 1967 when you were shot?
I had been to a party meeting, and after the meeting broke up, I went down on 7th Street, which was an all-night spot for food. And as I drove down, I noticed police following me, and finally the police stopped me on 7th and 7th and Willow. And the police came around to my car, and there was a backup. So there were 2 police cars, and so the police. I don't know whether he followed me because he had discovered who I was, but he asked my name. I gave him my name, and he told me to get out of the car.
Damn.
I asked the police, was there any reasonable cause to stop me? And he just said, get out of the. He just repeated, get out of the car. As I got out of my car, I took my book with me. There was a passenger who also was a party member, riding in the car also. And as I started to walk, the police then told me to walk back to his car. And as I walked back to the car, I turned around and started to read the reasonable cause to stop law from my law book, Alicorn and Frickley. And the police then told me that, he had every right to stop me and to go to the car, and I continued to read, and he pulled his revolver and shot me.
Damn.
I was wounded in the stomach, and there was a lot of gunfire. When I was shot, I became unconscious. There was many people on the street at the time. One police officer was killed. It was finally concluded that, by my attorneys anyway, that he was killed by a shot from his back by the second police officer. The second police officer also shot. He was shot about 5 times, and the first police officer about 3 times. At the time that I was not armed. The police officer, the pathologist discovered that the police was shot by his own weapon.
Of course.
According to the police reports, I commandeered a car and kidnapped the driver in order for him to take me to the hospital. I don't remember doing this. There was one Odell Lee who, Ross. His name was Ross, I'm sorry, who drove me to the hospital. It was discovered in his latter testimony, he gave a number of conflicting testimonies, that I did get into his car and he drove me to the hospital, but before I arrived at the hospital, I became unconscious. My next recollection was my conscious was that the police were beating me on the gurney that the doctors were preparing me for surgery. Matter of fact, I became one of my hands was the nerves were gone and in my left hand, and the police were spitting on me and so forth. There was a picture taken by some of the reporters who barged into the emergency room, and the police beat the reporters also.
Damn.
But one reporter got away with one picture that showed that I was shackled on the gurney, and while the police said they beat me because I was struggling with them.
I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. How did your arrest affect the party? Now they're leaders in prison. And how were you able to communicate while you were in jail?
Well, when I was arrested, I was taken to Kaiser Hospital. I was transferred from Kaiser Hospital to Highland Hospital, and as soon as this was October, it was near Christmas time, I became conscious with a local disc jockey dedicating a song to me, and Beverly Axelrod came to the attorney, was at that time was Eldridge Cleaver's girlfriend, came to the hospital and discussed with me a support group and a fundraising group in order to defend me. I communicated with the party through the attorneys. Before I was held for murder in the first degree, I was shipped not to the county jail, but to San Quentin prison, and I was put on death row there. And at the time, they said this is necessary because at the time the county hospital did not have a detention center. So they, as they put me on death row, a group of police were on either side, 3 in the front, 3 in the back, and I was on the gurney. and they were chanting "Dead man, dead man." Later, I found out that this was the usual procedure of any condemned man who was coming off of death row to see his attorney and so forth. Of course, I wasn't condemned yet.
So, but again, in terms of the leadership, how you talked about the tapes.
Oh yeah, I would communicate by making tapes, and the attorneys would send the tapes to the party, to the Black Panther Party, and the Black Panther Party would then send tapes back to me.
Nice.
I'm interested in the language, particularly the word pig. Would you talk about that use of language
Hey.
and where it came from, particularly the term pig, and what was the intention? What was the political intention of
The Black Panther Party felt that we needed to we needed imagery to change the consciousness of the people, and
Dude can't shoot no more. bro. Slightly later.
the police were disliked and so forth, so by the community. So we I don't know who, it might have been Beverly Axelrod or Eldridge. I don't think it was Bobby, suggested that we.
Could you talk about the political use of language?
We started to use the symbol of a pig to identify the police. I don't know who first presented
Right.
that symbol, but I knew that images had to be changed. Most of my young life, I was a student, and I know sociologically that words, the power of the words stigmatize people,
Spells.
and we felt that the police needed a label other than that fear image that they carried in the community. So we used the pig as a rather low-lifted animal in order to identify the police, and it worked. The community picked it up, and it sort of put the police in another category, a category that was not respected, and a category that the community could deal with, and the police were very offended by it, so it heightened
made
the
it better.
contradiction between the community and the police.
Okay, and let's continue with this talk about language and your decision not to use certain words.
During the free speech movement led by Mario Savio, it later grew into, it was corrupted into a dirty word movement. Matter of fact, in my autobiography, Revolutionary Suicide, I made a great mistake of criticizing Savio for this, but really had nothing to do with it. Eldridge Cleaver was impressed with the dirty word movement, and this influenced Bobby Seale. I was always against the use of dirty words because it didn't recruit anyone while it alienated other people. Many of the churches across the country allowed us to use their facilities for the Breakfast for Children program. Matter of fact, at the time we were feeding about 75,000 children a
Damn.
day. And they eventually put us out of, they wouldn't let us use their facilities because of the profanity. I think that led into the contradiction that in the division of the party, matter of fact. Because I was against the use of the dirty words. Also, this was about '69. I was also against. I was for getting rid of all the arms and just concentrate upon building local political institutions and participating in candidates for city council and so forth.
Right.
David Hilliard, Bobby Seale, and Eldridge Cleaver were for the profanity, and they were, well, I don't know about Bobby Seale, but I felt that David Hilliard was leaning towards Eldridge Cleaver. Of course, the FBI and the COINTELPRO were aware of the brewing contradiction, and they took advantage of this by writing letters, threatening letters to either party.
How did the media become part of the Panthers' strategy? How did it help the Panthers in terms of growth, but also how did it hurt the Panther Party in terms of its relationship with the black community?
The media, first of all, the media initially publicizes where that, and it causes immediate growth. Like for an example, they covered Sacramento. They covered escorting Malcolm X's widow from the airport. While they reported the sensational parts of our movement,
Sensationalism.
they neglected the community programs
Right.
that were really the basis of our whole
That's crazy.
organization. They neglected reporting the development of our political our ability to politicize the community. Also, the party grew much too rapidly because many of the young people were very enthusiastic about the guns and about the berets, but
Militant.
they knew little about the community programs that were really our reason for existing.
What possibilities did you see in the merger with the SNCC leadership, particularly merging with Carmichael and Carmichael? And how did you feel about Carmichael's strong national stance, particularly at that February 68 birthday rally?
Well, first I had a lot of respect for Rap Brown and Stokely Carmichael. SNCC carried the national and international support, and I felt that Stokely Carmichael could, and the SNCC organization could better lead the Black Panther Party than even the executives in the party. Also, I thought it would be a good example set of black unity and not attempting to compete for the center stage. At the time of the birthday party, SNCC was in a great transition period, and we felt that we could sway Carmichael's political stance with our popularity throughout the community. So we weren't too afraid of his posture on separation. We thought that we could, the community would ameliorate this particular kind of rhetoric that he was giving.
And what happened?
Well, SNCC never really, they made a gesture to merge with us, but they were very paranoid. They thought that we had a trick up our sleeves. They thought that no organization would give up its leadership to them, and they would only come if we would make that compromise. But at the time that I was willing to do that, to make the compromise.
That's Steph. Okay.
Ah.
All right. Why did the Panthers take the constant stand, the conscious stance after the death of Martin Luther King to discourage rebellion in the open community? If you could talk about that.
After Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated, the police across the country were prepared and expecting a uprising in the community, and we felt that to protect the community from the kind of brutality that we anticipated, we would ask the community not to have an open rebellion. At the time, I was in the county jail waiting trial for murder of Oakland police officer and assault and attempted murder on another, and that I communicated with the party that we should not have any rebellion, and encourage our chapters across the country to try to contain the community from open resistance.
And what was the impact of King's death on the business?
People were very disillusioned with the possibilities of a peaceful transformation to civil rights and equality, and universally they were disillusioned then with the civil rights
like
movement.
that word, disillusion.
So by the thousands they were joining up with our organizations, and organizations very much like ours, like the Republic of New Africa and our Revolutionary Action Movement, and many other black organizations.
Who was Bobby Hutton, and why did his death affect the party so deeply? We're going to change the Who was Bobby Hutton, and why did his death affect the party so deeply?
Bobby Hutton was the first member of the Black Panther Party. He was recruited at the North Oakland Service Center in October '66. I believe he was 15 at the time. He was our first recruit, and we made him treasurer. And he was like my little brother that I never had. And he was the inspiration of the party, because the party was very youth oriented. And while he worked at the North Oakland Service Center, we tutored him and politicized him. And until he was killed, that I really couldn't not really imagine any of our party members being murdered, even though that I knew that risk took place.
Right.
I was in the county jail at the time of his murder. This was the day that Martin Luther King was assassinated. And after he was killed, then it was like that. I felt that anyone in the party, I felt the party vulnerable. So he was very loved as a youth in the party and as our first member.
Could you talk about how did the food programs and later the survival programs fit within the Panther philosophy? Just talk about their place within.
Well, the food program and the escorting the elderly to to pick up their checks so they weren't mugged, giving care to them was the basis of our program. Our 10-point program was aimed at creating institutions in the community that really served the community. And so these were alternative institutions that served, while those institutions that were supposed to answer most of the desires of the people in the community did not do it. So the food program housing program was to answer really the need of answer the need for a developing community.
How did the Panthers come about their community lifestyle? And the style of the Panthers, the way they lived and the way they dressed, the way they ate. How did they come about that?
Again, that I was very impressed with the Chinese Revolution and the Cultural Revolution that was going on in China at the time. And Mao Zedong, who was the chairman of the Communist Party in China, was experimenting with communal eating and communal living. This served us well because it was so difficult. Housing was so difficult in our community, so we felt if we pooled together that this would answer that question, especially for the core of the party.
Where did you see the Black Panther Party headed by 1968? At that point, you're in prison.
Damn.
Convicted, seals, an indictment, cleavers out of the country. What did you think?
Well, again, that I wanted to emphasize the community development aspect of the party. We were at the time that we were just creating we were planning our creation of a community school. We were having busing programs to prisons where we would pick up community people and take them to the various penal institutions. I felt that we should turn away from the arms because too much had been made of them, and I thought that the arms had served their purpose as far as being a catalyst to gain enthusiasm of the community.
But what did you think was going to happen? Were you aware that the federal government was on the Panthers' tail at that point?
Oh yeah, I was very well aware of that. Was one of the reasons that we didn't want the we were.
Sorry, if you could just rephrase.
All right. During the period of 68, 69, the federal government had declared all-out war on the party, and they were breaking into headquarters across the chapters, breaking into chapter headquarters across the country, and filming weapons and saying, that, look, they have guns. It was never mentioned that the guns were legal weapons. They were doing everything to make the community afraid of the party. And of course, you can't organize when people are afraid of you. So I was inclined to try to develop more local politics, to run local members for various offices, and develop our 10-point program, which was a housing, food, and health program.
And I'm just going to go back over 2 questions deeper. Again, would you talk about the impact of King's death on the growth of the party? And again, how it may have affected New York and the eastern sector of New York. That growth may have affected those eastern sectors.
When Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated, people became disillusioned, especially the youth, very disillusioned with the old civil rights movement. They felt that it wouldn't work, that it was proved that it wouldn't work by the assassination of Martin Luther King. And as a consequence, the growth was very heavy in the, especially all over, but even more so, is more prominent in on the East Coast. And it's probably because conditions on the East Coast, living conditions, survival conditions, were much more dreadful than even on the West Coast here, where the weather is much better.
And just the last question again is, the use of profanity, and let's just stop in 68. I mean, what was your position, and how did that position differ from Cleaver's position in terms of the use of
Eldridge Cleaver was influenced by the dirty word movement that grew out of Mario Savio's free speech movement. And the dirty word movement, I didn't feel that in the black community that it recruited anyone, it alienated people. For instance, in the church, in many churches that allowed us to use their facilities for Breakfast for Children program, we were ousted because of the profanity that was used by Eldridge Cleaver, and later Bobby Seale and David Hiddy followed this. They were impressed with it. And I was against it. And matter of fact, that started to brew a dissension in the party.
That's great. You know, how you communicated with Fred Hampton and where you saw
Take
him
it.
rising and why he was such Could you talk about Fred Hampton and why he was such an effective leader and his rise within the party?
Fred Hampton was a very charismatic orator, and I think what's even more important that he had early training with the Southern Christian Leadership Council. He was tutored by Jesse Jackson, and he was on our Central Committee, and I saw him becoming the international leader, and I think that's one of the reasons that he was assassinated.
Right? That's it. That was pretty good. We got some more videos we're gonna watch. But for now, what are we gonna watch? So hold on. Am I gonna get 3 seconds? All right, let's
Guys, I
watch
hope all is well. Thank you for joining me for this Truth Talk episode. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about Beyonce being confirmed as a high-powered witch by a Hollywood witch. Let's get right into it. When people think about witches, they imagine them looking a lot like they're depicted in movies and TV shows. Women with green skin who are unattractive and scary looking that cast spells and fly on broomsticks. A perfect representation of a witch to most people is what they saw in the movie The Wizard of Oz. I remember seeing The Wizard of Oz as a child and being horrified by the Wicked Witch. People imagine witches looking like this, or maybe like the Sanderson sisters from the Hocus Pocus movie. The thing is, these representations of what a witch looks like are completely wrong. Witches are not just a Hollywood creation, they are very real, and they don't have green skin. This is actually a more accurate depiction of what a real witch looks like today. Beyonce, one of the biggest pop stars in the world, is a high-degree witch, and she looks nothing like the Wicked Witch or the Sanderson sisters. When most people think about witches, they don't think about Beyonce being one. She's a huge pop star who's considered one of the most attractive women in the music industry, and they have never seen her flying on a broomstick either. So how could she be a witch? This is exactly what Hollywood wants you to think. It's the reason they depict witches like this. This is how they protect themselves, as Hollywood itself is controlled by occultists. Whether you want to believe it or not, Beyonce is an occultist, a witch who practices magic. If you know anything about the occult, just by watching Beyonce's music videos and seeing her live performances, you would have already determined that on your own. Even though she is not coming out and stating she's a witch out of her own mouth, she is outing herself through symbolism. I have made videos on Beyonce in the past, and just a few weeks back, we spoke about Beyonce's Renaissance tour and the imagery being put out through that tour. In that video alone, we saw more than enough evidence that shows Beyonce is an occultist. The evidence of Beyonce's involvement in the occult is endless. Beyonce is often seen doing what most people think is the Rock Nation symbol in support of her husband Jay-Z. The thing is, that is not the Rock Nation symbol. It's actually a Masonic hand gesture done by occultists to represent the all-seeing eye. This symbol is often used by Masons, but is also used in sex rituals. And if you saw my video on the show Strange Angel, that's based on the real life of the father of modern rocketry,
Strange Angel is a good show. It's on Paramount Plus, but I think, yeah, it's on Paramount Plus, I think. Yeah.
Imagery being put out through that tour. In that video alone, we saw more than enough evidence that shows Beyonce's an occultist. The evidence of Beyonce's involvement in the occult is endless. Beyonce is often seen doing what most people think is the Roc Nation symbol in support of her husband Jay-Z. The thing is, that is not the Roc Nation symbol. It's actually a Masonic hand gesture done by occultists to represent the all-seeing eye. This symbol is often used by Masons, but is also used in sex rituals. And if you saw my video on the show Strange Angel, that's based on the real life of the father of modern rocketry, Jack Parsons, then you would know Aleister Crowley's OTO cult used this symbol during their sex rituals. In this scene from the show, they show the High Priestess doing the Masonic symbol as she's performing a sex magic ritual. This woman is not at all a part of Roc Nation. You really think it's a coincidence that Beyonce and Jay-Z are both doing the same hand gesture that these occultists are doing during a ritual? So many artists and celebrities do these hand gestures, and it's because the occult runs Hollywood and the music industry. During Beyonce's concerts, she is performing ceremonial magic, just like the Freemasons do in their lodge. Most of the Masonic rituals are theatrical ceremonies that are supposed to symbolize the actual ritual. This is exactly what these celebrities are doing. They are symbolizing the ritual while they're performing for thousands. She is literally using her fans without their knowledge to participate in these occult rituals, using their energy to honor whichever fallen god she is worshiping. Beyonce is a witch, and her fans are a part of her coven. The thing is, a coven only has up to 13 members. Once it passes 13 members, they're now considered a hive. And you know what's interesting about that? Beyonce calls her stan-like fans members of her beehive, and they call her the Queen Bee. Once again, this is not a coincidence. Her fans don't even know that they are a part of her witch hive. Beyonce isn't the only one that does this, as the pop star Taylor Swift does the same thing. I did a video on Taylor Swift, and I also exposed her as a witch as well. She literally held the concert where, just like Beyonce, she was performing a full-on occult ritual. During the performance, she was seen with magical orbs and a coven of witches surrounding her while they all performed a spell for the audience to watch. After her show was finished, some fans were even reporting that they had no memory of the show. They were in a trance-like state for the performance and didn't even remember the songs she performed.
For Swifties, seeing Taylor Swift live is a dream come true. But for some of these diehard fans, they have no memory of their concert experience. It's being called Taylor amnesia. You heard that right. Some fans can't remember the concert they attended just moments earlier. That's what happened to 32-year-old Nicole Booz, who saw Taylor earlier this month in Philadelphia.
You spent almost $1,000 on a ticket, right? You can't remember anything?
It felt like so real. Afterwards, as we were leaving, I was like, did she play this song? I don't remember this song. I don't remember her doing that. And little things like that. But I do remember going to the concert.
People fail to understand that high society has indulged in witchcraft since the beginning of time. People have worshipped the fallen angels. God vanished them from heaven, so they created their kingdoms here on earth. I am not the only person who thinks Beyonce and other celebrities are witches, as this Hollywood witch called Satin Says straight up confirms Beyonce is a witch. During an interview with Tasha K, she revealed some interesting information. Satin admits herself to being a witch who works mostly for celebrity clients, from ball players to actors and artists, doing what she called root work for them.
You say you do root work.
Yeah, I do.
So root work, break it down.
Okay, so basically you come to me if they want root work on anything. It could be money, it can be love, it can be a lawsuit payout, settlement, whatever the case may be.
You do consider yourself a celebrity root work advisor.
They all come to me. Plenty of them.
What?
Yes. I started with celebrities, and then I was posting my stuff, and that's how I started with the public. But it was celebrities only, because you need to have a check to come to me. So now I have things that the public can come to me for too.
Root work is a form of hoodoo magic that uses the basis of alchemy to perform spells. Satin will do spells for these celebrities to help win games, or to provide supernatural luck, or to get back at an enemy. She is essentially a witch for hire. Satin also revealed Summer Walker is a witch just like her.
So, do you consider yourself a witch?
Oh, I am a witch, but I don't do hexes for everybody.
She's scared?
No.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Because they tell me Beyonce's a witch and that we should be scared. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. She's an Ifa. So when she wears her yellow, that's Oshun.
Oh.
Of, riches and beauty, love, and all of that. Which I can see why she's connected to Oshun. But yeah, so it's another kind of tradition.
Okay.
Like a lot of people would think but it's really Ifa. So it's like a lifestyle as a religion. You know?
Cause I always wonder why you got on them flowers and
Yeah.
got on that elaborate. I'm like, can nobody buy your clothes? Your clothes look different.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
She probably gives her, so she has her own outfit. She gives her food. She has parties for her. All of that. Just like Summer Walker.
As you heard for yourself, Satin straight up revealed that Beyonce and Summer Walker are both witches who practice a form of magic called Ifa that draws its power from the deity called Oshun. Oshun is a deity or a goddess, a part of the Yoruba religion, an ancient West African religion that plays as the foundation of Santeria, a form of witchcraft. Oshun is considered the goddess of divinity, femininity, fertility, beauty, and love. She is also connected to destiny and divination, often being associated with the color gold and seen depicted like this, which is awfully similar to what Beyonce has been presenting herself as. Satin says basically revealed that
Lately.
Beyonce is a witch who is channeling the spirit of Oshun through Ifa magic. Satin also revealed that those who practice ritual magic like she does have to be initiated.
You know, I know people talk about it, but I mean, do it, but they don't. It's something you don't talk about.
You don't. Not much.
So why are you talking about it?
Because I'm not telling you what I do. Just like when you asked, did I tell you what I do? No. I just do root work. Because when you're initiated, kind of like sworn to secrecy, kind of like that high society that everybody talks about.
The Illuminati? Yeah.
You're sworn to secrecy. You cannot tell people what you went through initiation to get these secrets for. Like, it doesn't make sense. So I won't talk about how I do it or what exactly I do, but it clearly works. I mean, I've made millions every single week, so every year.
So there are humiliation rituals.
Yes. Yes. And sometimes they don't even get in. So a lot of these celebrities that want to, the higher level, the A-list or whatever, they come to them, get in, and they're like, I don't want you. They pick and choose. Whoever could be the better puppet is who can get in. And yes, they be sacrificing family. They be doing it. Absolutely.
As you heard for yourself, Satin claims that she at one point had to be initiated to be able to know the occult secrets she has learned. When Tasha K said like the Illuminati, Satin replied yes. She claimed that she would not reveal what she did, but stated that what she does works, claiming she's made millions every year. I don't know if she's actually made millions, but I found her website where she sells quote-unquote magic candles and lotions. She also allows you to book her for root work rituals. Her entire site is packed with occult symbols and images. I'm pretty sure though, she's just using this site to scam vulnerable people. Occult magic isn't lotions and oils, but she's going to take advantage of those who believe anything. I'm pretty sure Satin is a real witch who knows what she's talking about because she was dead right about Beyonce. In another part of the interview, Satin also revealed that in order to be a witch like she is, you have to be a part of the bloodline.
So how do you get initiated? What is an initiation? Like, how do you know, like, okay, I'm supposed to be a witch? Like, where do you wake up on that? Like, how do you get
she
that?
like, hold on, she wanna know.
Advantage of those who believe anything. I'm pretty sure Satin is a real witch who knows what she's talking about because she was dead right about Beyonce. In another part of the interview, Satin also revealed that in order to be a witch like she is, you have to be a part of the bloodline.
So how do you get initiated? What is an initiation? Like, how do you know, like, okay, I'm supposed to be a witch? Like, where do you wake up on that? Like, how do you get that?
So the thing about witchcraft, like, huge world, so there's not one specific way like you wake up, oh, I'm a witch today. Like, anybody could really get into witchcraft, but not everybody's called to be a root worker. This is something that you're like born into. For me, my family, like my great-grandmother, her mother, this is just a bloodline. I always had the power. It was up to me to decide, is this what I want to do or not want to do?
Okay.
So that's how I got into it. I was born, so my mom took me, I did my initiation. So it really just depends. Now, some people do come into it that it's not in their bloodline. I would never do it, but if it works for them, it works for them. It's their path.
As you heard for yourself, Satin revealed that anyone can perform witchcraft, but only some who are a part of the bloodline would truly have the ability. This is something that I believe is very interesting when you realize that almost all of the US presidents are related because they are part of the same bloodline. Many US presidents have also been confirmed Freemasons, and I honestly believe that all presidents are Freemasons. Satin isn't the only person that has called Beyonce a witch, as a former drummer of hers has come out and stated the same thing. Kimberly Thompson worked as a drummer for Beyonce's live band for approximately 7 years. She was also in the industry a while before working for Beyonce, as she worked for other rock bands. She would eventually lose her job with Beyonce and later came out and revealed some interesting information. According to Kimberly, she claimed that Beyonce was performing extreme forms of dark magic on her. She claimed these rituals were sexual in nature, even claiming that Beyonce used her cat for a ritual, which led it to passing away.
Damn, she killed a cat.
Did Queen Bee practice witchcraft on one of her musicians? In this Daily Mail TV exclusive, the drummer who claimed she was under Beyonce's spell is now speaking out.
The fact that people keep saying I'm crazy, hell, the situations I had to deal with in life are crazy.
Kimberly Thompson says she is tormented being put under manic sexual spells by Beyonce.
We're talking about other situations.
She sound
where
crazy though.
Changing into animals and jumping into other bodies and all kinds of really crazy stuff.
In bizarre court papers, Thompson claims Beyonce, who she refers to as this person, has started a campaign of harassment against her that includes extreme witchcraft, dark magic, and magic spells. She also claims Beyonce murdered her kitten after the singer put a spell on it.
Murdered her kitten.
The cat has a spell on it. The cat was taken back to her people, and they...
The fact that she was describing the rituals as sexual confirmed to me that it was a sex magic ritual, which we know points directly to Aleister Crowley's OTO, as he was the one who taught sex magic through Thelema, proving exactly why Beyonce and Jay-Z both throw up the Masonic all-seeing eye, because they practiced Thelema. More proof of this is this photo here of Jay-Z wearing a sweater with the phrase "Do what thou will" on it. "Do what thou will" is a credo created by Aleister Crowley, the man who taught sex magic rituals. Kimberly basically exposed Beyonce for being a follower of Crowley. This situation of Beyonce reminds me of a similar situation with Lady Gaga. Back in 2012, Lady Gaga had checked into the Intercontinental Hotel in London. When she checked out, the hotel's cleaning crew were shocked when they found that Lady Gaga had left a bathtub full of blood. The cleaning lady believed Lady Gaga had to be bathing in the blood, as why else would it be in the bathtub? This in itself is a ritual called the rebirth ritual, and we have seen so many artists demonstrate this exact ritual in their video and photos. Strangely, only some media companies reported on this, but MTV was one of them. It's obvious Beyonce's a witch, and she has her fans under a deep spell. This is why they made Beyonce a church, where they worship her. Beyonce is embodying the spirit of Oshun. She is being controlled by this spirit. At least, she believes she is. By her fans worshiping her, they're truly worshiping Oshun and the other gods she is channeling. She has her fans hypnotized, and sadly, they don't even know that they're following Beyonce to a burning end. For most of my life, I have seen people worshiping Beyonce from the very beginning of her solo career, where she showed herself doing the death and rebirth ritual of Jay-Z in the Crazy in Love video. Now, she's throwing these massive occult ritual tours with all her fans still worshiping her. Her fans worship her more than they do God. We can show them obvious proof that proves Beyonce is into the occult, and they act blind to it, or they simply don't care. This is the power of Beyonce. It's why she is so big, because she's a high-degree witch. So before you spend your hard-earned money to sit at a Beyonce concert, ask yourself, do you really want to give your worship to a deity Beyonce is worshiping? Well, that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next.
He ends his video so funny. No hate. Shout out to the Truth Is though. But them videos be funny the way he ended. Alright, how many seconds do I got? 3. Shit, I ain't got no time. Oh, I stepped out of bounds. Whatever. Matter of fact, I'll be right back. Give me a second, alright? back. I'm back. Hey. What it do? Hey. That shit crazy, man. Alright. Alright, I'm back. But for real though, I'm trying to turn the ball up. I wish they like had a sound or like a setting where I could turn the bounce of the ball up. Cause that's what I use to play the game. For the most part, you know what I mean? But whatever. It's neither here nor there.
Civil, let's be.
You want my mic? Alright, what's the beef?
It's no beef. I said we can talk about Sam being a gold digger, or I can help Sam because I don't really know Neon like that. I think Sam would have Neon long term if she deactivated the OnlyFans. He would appreciate that. Correct?
I don't know if it changed anything.
Maybe you should play neutral so she can talk and we can have a higher viewer count.
I'm trying to say I am neutral. I'm saying I don't think
You're answering for her, okay, and that way she gets to hide.
Talk.
Make it awkward.
One, I hate talking to you because you never have anything nice to say to me ever, and you're stupid.
I said you're hot. I said you're hot.
I don't care about.
You're not on my level, but you're cute.
Literally, like, you calling me hot is an offensive term.
No, I think you're conventionally hot, not for me. But so now check it out. How did you even meet Neon?
At my house.
He walked in your house.
We were doing a stream together.
Yeah, we were streaming.
And he picked you up?
Yeah.
As a virgin? Or did you manipulate the virgin?
No, the virgin likes her.
She's got the best deal. Where's my chat? Yo, chat. One in the chat.
Oh, you got a real camera now.
Yeah, I do.
Wow, you got a filmer.
Oh, you got a real boyfriend now. Oh, it's not for long. Yo, check it out, chat.
We got the whole setup.
If she picked up a millionaire, the millionaire would say, "Hey yo, mine's bigger." Check it out. If she got a millionaire, he'd be like, "Oh, you're not sucking. I'm gone." But with Neon, she don't have to suck. She don't have to do anything. She got like the ultimate deal.
Exactly reciting what Myron said.
Really? I love you, Myron.
Watching. You're literally acting so dumb.
I tuned in late.
Nobody wants to hear you repetitive.
Are you older than him?
Do you have a new opinion? No.
Yeah, I was wondering.
More than Neon?
Definitely the fuck.
Yeah,
How? No.
Older than Neon.
You're older than Neon.
Yeah.
You're older than Neon?
Like a year.
What are you?
You're calling us?
You're literally, and he's a virgin. You're a virgin.
At least we have morals. At least we have.
You know what? Hey, let me tell you this. It doesn't matter because in 1 week, in one week she'll be cry. In 1 week she'll be dumped, broke at 100 viewers, and doing OnlyFans she'll be doing her fucking OnlyFans. Let me tell you something, Neon. You picked the right bitch. This one cracks you, you traumatize, you'll be red pill for life.
Honestly, worst comes to worst, she doesn't delete the live, she'll be 20 on our stream, so.
I mean, she's older than him.
Yeah, older than him, buying him stuff, and he's a virgin, and she calls us the group. Honestly, I'm gonna start taking lessons.
Hey, Sam, no one's bothering you. Come sit with us. We're done talking about Neon. I don't even know Neon.
You would say his name. Wait, that guy hits.
No, I'm not a party pooper. I'm done. I said what I have to say. I think you can long con him if you turn.
I don't want to hear what you have to say.
You
will never be the man that Neon is, for real. He's younger. No, he's younger than you.
Like this?
He makes more money than you, regardless, because not that fucking matters. I make my own money, but still, you, like, he's literally better than you, and he's 19.
Why? But
like, how old are you? Like, fucking.
No,
50?
you know why I'm better than Neon? Because I'm not.
You're not better than Neon.
I'm better than
Period.
Neon.
You're not better than Neon.
Why I'm better than Neon because I'm not dating a gold digging.
No, you're the one trying to talk to me for clout. Get the off my. Like.
Yeah, where'd you get that clout? Where'd you get that clout?
What do you mean? She's had her clout. She's built
No, we never talked to you on camera until you f with Neon. We never followed you around. So
why are you talking to me then? Why are you talking to me now?
Neon made you a star.
I love my Neon. He's the best. He's the best. I miss him. I hate talking to like unempathetic people and
how's,
like you,
what
when I
language
have
is this?
Neon.
I don't.
Like, you piss
Bill,
me off.
we don't speak leech. Whoa,
You're literally the definition of leech.
I'm self-made. You're made by a little Indian boy. Little Indian.
Keep going. You said you want to be friends. You're lying.
I don't want to be friends.
You want clout.
I don't want to argue.
Then stop talking to me.
I think you guys get along. I think this
Sam, you're the best.
Okay,
You're
stop
the best.
inserting yourself.
Swap mics to that mic.
Sam, Neon is lucky to have you.
Thank you. I'm lucky to have him.
I know.
Good pick. You look like a
Right?
The truth is the truth. Neon will.
No, didn't you just say, let's get me on here? Like, why are you trying to say I'm a leech?
You literally have Neon's clout. That's why we put the camera on you. If Neon didn't with you, we'd leave you in the toilet.
Yeah, because you're a cloud chaser. That's all you want. All you want is to, you just, you literally just outed yourself.
Yeah, that's why I'm hanging out with you. But hey, Sam, you're doing good.
I love his evil laugh though. It's kind of funny. Do it again. Do it again. Do an evil laugh.
How? Wait. Raise your hand if you think she's a gold digger. Raise of hand.
Okay, yep, you're out of here. Go. Get off the boat. Get out. Get off the boat.
I'm good.
Man, to kick him off the boat.
Like that.
Sam, I'll make you feel
Stop
better.
talking to me.
No, I'll make Sam feel better.
Say my name, bro.
Okay,
Sam, let him talk to you, Sam.
Here, I'll make you feel better. You're not the only gold digger here. Every single girl. These girls would have fucked with Jack and he didn't have money.
Can you stop? Like,
You know why I'm so blessed and famous and rich? Because I tell the truth.
But what's that?
Gold digger.
Whoa! She's throwing pizza.
Uh-oh. She couldn't control her emotions.
And he's gonna dump you and you'll be broke.
Oh my! Well, that was insane.
Whoa. Sam, can we be friends now? We did a YouTube video together. Remember, Sam? Sam, remember we collabed and you were flirting with me before you met Neon? It's on the YouTube channel.
She can't control herself.
YouTube Zerka Riz's Jack's girl, and you'll see her flirting with me before Neon. She's such a social climbing.
That's funny. I was being emotional. Oh. Dang, alright. I can't make shit right now. Oh, this the playoffs too. Dang. Mean ass screen. Let him shoot the free throw.
Shooting two.
The long-awaited decision in The long-awaited decision in the Huey Newton murder trial, which has drawn worldwide attention, is now very near. The jury of 7 women and 5 men are deliberating the fate of the Black Panther leader on the 8th floor of that building. It is their job to decide whether he is guilty of killing Oakland policeman John Fry and wounding Officer Herbert Haynes in a pre-dawn shootout last October 28th. 2 floors above the jury in his cell, Huey Newton, who has made almost no show of emotion during the 8 weeks of trial, calmly awaits the decision of the jury. I talked to Newton in the jail.
As far as the proceedings thus far, that the courts have only reflected the racist attitude of the general power structure, that I haven't received a fair trial, that I should not have been indicted in the first place. I was indicted by a blue ribbon grand jury, a middle-class white grand jury that did not represent a cross-section of the community. And
You say you don't feel you've had a fair trial?
No.
Why?
Number one, the judge has been very racist throughout the proceeding, very pro-prosecution, that I don't feel that I should have been tried at all. And if I had been tried, if there was an inkling of reason to try me, I should not have been tried for first-degree murder. That if the judge had not been a racist, that he would have amended the charges to a manslaughter, perhaps. The very fact that he didn't dismiss the whole charge reflects his racism.
Some of your supporters have said that the trial, that you are a political
prisoner, that are oppressing people of color all over the world, and on a local level, the police, fascist police, are suppressing, repressing the white revolutionaries as well as the blacks who speak of and who are attempting to attain liberation. So I am not standing for violence, but I do stand for self-defense.
Back to the trial for one moment.
You just keep on talking.
What about your future if you're on the street next week?
I will continue to organize the black community in a political fashion. I will help in the campaign of Eldridge Cleaver for president, my own campaign for 7th Congressional District. And I think this will be a large job because it's going to be done from a grassroots level, from door to door in the community. It will we will consider the people on 7th Street who stand on the corners, who have lost all faith in this society. And matter of fact, all other, we will attempt to rehabilitate them, to show them that there is possibly some gains in political action, and if it's sincere, and if the black people have exclusive control of it within their community. So in my campaign.
You say, you got enough, Steve?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Two-point game. All right, let me play this shit real quick. I know they throw me the ball.
See, this is the thing. Like, men are not allowed. Men are not allowed to have preferences, standards, and boundaries. See, this is the thing. Like, men are not allowed. Men are not allowed to have preferences, standards, and boundaries. It's always met with contempt and shaming language. That's. I mean,
I guess just keep it to yourself. You can have like preferences, but just don't like voice them.
Don't make it like a fetish.
Yeah, just don't
make it a
fetish.
Well, I don't think I made it a fetish.
No, you didn't. I'm saying it would be weird if it was a fetish, but I think there's no problem with dating someone younger because like we date.
I think we recoiled because
when I heard college girls, I
thought it was
like,
exclusively college girls.
Yeah.
You're like,
oh yeah, I
just
love
like
me
in my
college
brain,
girls,
just like.
Yeah,
I thought abuse of power,
and
you're currently sitting with 4 college girls.
I just feel like that's me, and I'm like, I don't feel like an adult.
Not that
you know
I'm
what
saying.
I mean? Like I still.
Yeah, but we were talking about context in which I would pay for a date, and that is one context in which I would more willingly be willing to pay because there's a proportionality in terms of what we can afford, and so I think if I want to go to a really nice place and she doesn't work and she's in college, then
Yeah,
then I'd be more willing to pay. But
if
I'm
a person
hold
asks
on.
me to a nice place, I expect them to pay.
But like I've had experiences where
Why wouldn't you just do it to be kind?
So
why
I've-
isn't that an option?
let me just finish. So I've had some experiences where
Let me just finish.
I've dated women who make more money than I do. And so in those scenarios, I mean, should they pay? I mean, it's just weird because I've dated, there's one woman in particular, she was a litigation attorney making $200,000 to $300,000 a year. She still wanted the guy to pay. And I'm like, bruv, you make $300,000. Sorry, Andrew Tate is rubbing off on me. So, but I don't really. Okay, so I do want to challenge the age thing a bit. So, what do you think about cougars?
The only thing that I said is that no matter what relationship, especially with that big of an age difference, there will always be an abuse of power.
So you think those?
That is my opinion.
So you think
whether it's
an
a
older
man
guy dating someone younger or an older woman dating someone younger?
Yeah.
There is a power imbalance and it's abusive.
No, an abuse of power. That doesn't
Abuse of
mean you're
power.
being abusive. It's an abuse of power during relationships. It's like if your boss, this is not a great analogy, but
Don't say it.
you're older. And there's that extent, being that much older, like 10. Oh, okay. In your
Well, the
situation,
boss-
not
I mean,
really.
The boss,
I'm just.
okay, being employer-employee, that's a whole different.
No, I know. That's why I didn't
different.
go on there. It was a bad analogy. But what I'm saying is that with relationships that have such a large age gap, there will be an abuse of power because there is an extensive amount of experience that the younger one had just never experienced, and it's easier to take advantage of. You know?
In certain situations, like with certain people, not necessarily like you
Yeah.
specifically.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm saying in general.
But we could also say that women get more experience romantically than men do.
Who cares? That's okay. I don't get why that's okay.
Relevant? She's trying to figure out
What
why
if
it's
you were
relevant.
dating someone with dementia? And he's like,
Wait, what?
Oh my God!
Chris.
Chris.
Bring out the alcohol.
It's getting late, man. But wait, I don't understand why that
One
has
sec.
anything
Hold
to
on,
do
I
with
gotta
it,
play
though,
this
man.
for Chris. Hold on.
Everybody knows you never go fool each other.
Like, you see what I'm saying though? Like if you were like a young woman and there was like this very old man with dementia, and you wanted to date him because he likes going to Denny's and you want to use his senior discount.
Dementia.
Right?
That's
He probably
totally
thinks
different.
he's
That's
in
totally
his
different.
20s. Not dating a
I don't get why we keep
Back
bringing
in
things
Nam,
up that are
my
basically the
grandpa has
same,
dementia.
that are just like the switched version of it with male and woman. It doesn't make it any better or any worse.
But I do think, broadly
know?
speaking, like what people view as socially acceptable, like I don't think anyone has, like people wouldn't look down on cougars. Like it has its own Wikipedia page and shit.
Yeah, it's also a
People look down
huge
on them.
fetish. Literally, like
Everyone
it's-
gets looked down on.
It's not looked down on as much as older men dating younger women, because cougars and MILFs are a fetish that have been come up by men. Like
What is she
DILFs
talking
are
about?
just now starting to be like, okay, maybe let's not criticize that and judge that. Just now. Right? Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? Whereas, like,
No.
for example, just easy example, Stacy's mom. Literally a middle school little.
She got
Yes.
it going on.
Damn,
It's
I should have
just,
made that.
it's
bro.
not criticized as much because it's not fetishized. Because it's fetishized. You know what I mean?
Honestly, love is love applies to age. And I think that people are gonna get hate for whatever they do.
Agree.
Anything. So just do whatever you want.
That is the moral of the podcast. Do what you want to do. Pay for
Yeah.
her. Pay for her food. If
Do
If
whatever you
don't-
want.
If you don't and she gets mad, she wasn't the one. You didn't
Exactly.
Want her. You didn't want her
Communication.
Anyway,
Communication is key.
Communication major over here.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I just feel like that was an interesting insight there. It does seem to me that men are very often shamed when they have
Right.
and
Standard.
I don't even have necessarily a preference for women who are like younger, and when I say younger, I mean like say 18 to 23 or whatever, like, but, and I mean, it's, of the women I've dated in the past couple years, like most of them are 27 to 33 in that.
We're just saying in general.
45, I guess. Sounds like 45.
That yeah, I don't want to get too deep into that just because, but yeah, so kind of just to bringing it back to the who should pay thing. I'm trying to.
I am
trying to get his shit.
tired.
We're almost done. I'm
Me
sorry,
too.
Kylie. We are almost done. We'll wrap up in 5 minutes here.
You said that literally
I know.
45 minutes
We
ago.
went off
I thought we were
onto.
done at 9.
No,
we
literally.
went off.
I have an OCHEM midterm.
I had plans at like 9:30.
Okay, let's just read the super chats here, and then we'll wrap it up. Chris, can you pull up the super chats?
We could always do like a part 2.
Yeah,
Let's do a part 2. I like this panel.
This was really good.
All right, we're gonna listen to this for a second, see what they're talking about.
The Neoplatonic philosopher Plotinus, in describing the God content in human nature, referred to it as the good. He admitted, even with the definition, that it was not adequate, that we have no way of finding a word or a group of words that can convey the tremendous potential that is locked in the individual. He chose the term, the good, because it was simple, that it had something of the unity and gentleness of this tremendous overpower. He also pointed out that by the term good, we mean that which produces according to its own nature. Therefore, all things arising from the good must be in themselves good. And therefore, within man is a spiritual fountain of virtues. And these virtues, expressing themselves in their own proper and natural way, must in turn produce virtue in conduct, and must cause man to gradually, but inevitably, build toward integrity in all of his conducts and in all of his achievements. Plotinus lived a long time ago, but the world which he knew has not substantially changed a great deal. Surely we have made living much more complex, and we have added a great number of inventions and commodities unknown to our ancestors. But these are of the incidentals of living. The essential of life itself, conduct toward the good, has not been changed by the passing of time. More developments, more inventions, more ingenuity, all these things give us new challenges in our search for the good. Thus, as our way of life unfolds, we can accomplish more good. We can direct our activities toward the service and improvement of values and of states of man, in order that this good may have a fuller opportunity to express itself on all levels of conduct and activity. Our first problem, then, is to try to understand, as Plotinus explains it, the relation of this good in man to the sovereign good in the world. According to him, Plotinus, this sovereign good is what we term God. This sovereignty of good is more than a mere quality. It is a being, substance or essence, forever operating according to its own nature. At the root of all things, therefore, is a power, essentially good by nature, and therefore essentially good in all of the things which flow from it, into our observation and knowledge. The sovereignty of good places the entire world under a law of benevolence. While we may obscure this law, it is available to us if we seek it. And beneath all appearances to the contrary, the substance of good is unchanged. Thus we have two ways of life: life according to substance and life according to appearance. Life according to substance is a life of releasing through ourselves those values which exist forever. A life according to appearance is a life conditioned and modified by the various levels of our own understanding or misunderstanding. A life according to seeming, or the acceptance of things not in themselves necessarily true, but apparently urgent. Thus Plotinus gives us another concept, namely that we can live according to eternity, or we can live according to urgency. To live in accordance with eternity is to live with laws, to live with principles that do not change. A life according to urgency is an eternal compromise to meet the passing circumstances of the day. A life lived according to emergency creates new emergency. And we go on with no essential plan, drifting with the currents of our own conduct, constantly forced into desperate situations from which we must rescue ourselves by an occasional outburst of basic intelligence. And for most persons, the only time that we call upon intelligence is when some desperate situation has arisen. The rest of the time, we are content to live according to emergency. Today, because of the complications in our living, emergencies are more frequent. And as this condition continues and intensifies, the need for basic intelligence becomes more obvious to us. Thus, in difficult times, we search for value. We strive in one way or another to restore the integrities by means of which we can face situations without unreasonable fear. To build a life according to the good, therefore, we have to next consider that good in relationship to ourselves, to the essence of our own nature. Realizing that good is at the foundation of all existence, we must find it in connection with our own existence. Realizing that we are parts of an eternal totality, that we are units within unity, it becomes imperative to reintegrate ourselves in relation to good. Can man possess good? Essentially, he cannot possess it, but he can use it. In nature, man actually cannot possess anything. What appears to be a possession is merely something that is loaned to us, something that we have certain stewardship over for a period of time. We can possess none of the values which we need for our survival, but we can draw upon eternal values to meet our emergencies. Thus, not by possessing, but by sharing. Not by owning, but by using the available resources of life, we gradually advance our destinies. Man cannot possess sunshine, nor rain. He cannot possess love or truth. But all of these values on their various levels are accessible to him. He can plan according to the sun and the seasons. He can live according to certain values which he shares with other creatures And as he obeys the laws governing values, he becomes increasingly secure. In our daily papers, for example, we observe now that a heavy winter with many storms, snow, this winter is resulting in the annual phenomenon of floods. In various parts of the country, melting snows and unseasonal rains are producing the usual flooding of low areas of land. We have always had these floods. They have been part of our way of life since our beginning. And yet, for some strange reason, we have never really learned to capitalize upon nature's means of operation. Each year the floods come, and man, unprepared for them, finds a great loss. His home is flooded away. His land is inundated. And he takes a serious punishment. And yet, year after year, he has known that these things would happen. It is the same in our internal life. We know that certain values must be fulfilled because these values are lawful. Yet so often we try to live ignoring the laws governing these principles. And when, because we have ignored, a deluge comes upon us, we are offended. We are disillusioned. We feel that nature is against us, or that the gods are afflicting us. Actually, we have not learned to use. We have not learned that there is a value even in a flood, if we know what to do with that flood, how to direct it, and perhaps how to store these waters for some time of drought. Because we have not conquered the problem continues to burden us. It is the same with the floods within our own lives, the floods of emotion, of impulse and instinct, which come forth from us. Unless we use these, they become a terrible force. But it is not the energy or the principle itself that is at fault. It is that man has variously ignored, betrayed, or misunderstood things in themselves naturally and properly good. Thus man has an adjustment to make throughout his living. The adjustment between his own carelessness, his own indolence, and his own indifference, and the ever-moving laws with which he is involved. To adjust to these laws means to have energy and resource available. To disregard these laws is to be swept away by a flood of circumstances. Plotinus then, in his discussion of the good, points out that one of man's first needs is to discover that at the root of everything that happens is good, and that whether this good shall reveal itself or be concealed, whether it shall appear to be fortunate or unfortunate, depends upon man, depends upon his own ability to meet the challenge of circumstances. We have some trouble, perhaps, trying to understand all the aspects of good as these operate in the world, for some of these operations are not easily reconciled with our desires. We find it very difficult to see good in the storm, or in the earthquake, or in the flood, or the fire.
There we go. Finally got it.
We would so much like to be relieved of these pressures and these needs. Yet by degrees we have transformed many ancient problems into valuable assets. We have learned in many ways to make use of nature's temperament to the advancement of our own purpose. In the same way, within ourselves, there are pressures. These pressures seem to lead us into trouble. These pressures appear to be uncontrollable. But actually, conditions which are uncontrollable are merely conditions which are uncontrolled. And any part of man with which he must labor in his daily work can be controlled by the totality of man. Anything within human nature which arising within the individual can become a force in his life or operation.
Dang, let's go.
Such an energy is susceptible of direction. It can be channeled into its proper purpose. The moment it is so channeled, it is no longer a danger or a problem. Its value becomes immediately evident to us. Thus man has, within himself at all times, the power to integrate himself, the power to organize his resources, and the power to attain to a security of life and consciousness. It might also be asked, and Plotinus brings up this point, that persons on various levels of personal attainment, persons interested in or specializing in certain particular arts or sciences, dedicated to certain convictions or policies, present innumerable individual variations upon the theme of life. Can each of these persons integrate his own life as it is and where it is? Plotinus believed that he could. Plotinus was convinced that each individual can achieve the security that he needs, the integration necessary to him, without a prodigious intellectual effort. The individual does not have to completely perfect his nature in order to attain a reasonable adjustment with life. Adjustment can always be where we are now and as we are now. In each instance, adjustment is merely the proper use of a resource already available. The individual has made the subject much too difficult in his own thinking. He has envisioned an abstract or ultimate perfection, and until he attains this, nothing worthwhile can be accomplished.
Right.
While it is true that man may dream toward a state of completeness, that this state of completeness is not to be attained merely by dreaming about it, that it must in its own course result from a series of adjustments, long made and continued over vast periods of time. At any moment, however, a degree of adjustment necessary for the successful maintenance of life is possible if we really want it, and if we are willing to make the necessary sacrifices of less valuable things. In the beginning of the philosophy of mysticism, we then come to this concept, namely that available to the individual at every moment, at all times, and everywhere, is an energy, a power called the good, which can be called upon, which can be used, which can be regarded as solutional to the immediate needs of the day or the hour. How then are we to make this force available to us? Plotinus gives us a simple formula, one that probably is as useful as any that we can conceive. He points out the basic need of a conviction, that the individual must possess within his nature one prerequisite, namely a sincere belief that such good exists, that such good is available, that such good is capable of solving the problem of his life. This belief, this conviction, not only precedes action, but becomes the very springboard for all achievement. It is this mysterious brace upon which we can rest the fulcrum of our endeavor. If then we are willing to acknowledge the presence of good, if we are willing to acknowledge the reality of God as a power, a principle, or a being, the reservoir, container, and fountain of all good, if we are capable of such a conviction, and we mean it, this in itself is practically all that is necessary for the release of at least a measure of our internal resource power. Without the basic conviction that there is good, obviously our position is weakened. If we wish to live in a universe of accidents, we must be burdened by those accidents. Education, theoretically, should take the belief in accidents out of the life of man, because education is based upon values and certainties that are unchanging. Mathematics is a science of unchanging values. Art and music, developed by laws which we have to obey. Even industry and science are in constant indebtedness to law. If we will penetrate the surface of lawlessness, we will find law beneath it constantly. If then what we call faith needs a foundation, that foundation is in the everyday factors of living. Faith is not the believing in something which cannot be demonstrated. Faith is not man's blind acceptance of values which he cannot see or understand. Faith is based upon man's ability to observe accurately the most commonplace incidents of living. The foundation of faith is not a blind believing. It is a keen, open-eyed observing. Any person who will observe will have foundations for faith. Not only do we observe things, not only do we observe persons, we also observe patterns, patterns of conduct, patterns of law operating in history. And everywhere, this pattern can be seen, can be experimented with in at least an intellectual way, and we can come to almost inevitable conclusions. Any person basically intelligent can see in history, art, music, literature, science, education, religion, philosophy, indications of the workings of laws, and can come finally to the realization that life is a legitimate unfolding of law and within law. The moment we have this concept, the moment we permit ourselves to observe our own living and the lives of others, we are led to this inevitable conclusion. Thus, what appears to be faith is nothing more than the acceptance of the undeniable. But because we do not observe, because we do not wish to take the time to consider, we accept only on authority that which we could easily demonstrate for ourselves. We live in the presence of the law of gravity. We behold constantly laws without which we could not function, could not exist, could not continue in our daily courses. Therefore, we do not have to blindly accept. We merely have to consider thoughtfully the very facts with which we are surrounded every moment of our existence. Now, one thing, as Plotinus points out, has somewhat complicated this situation. Man is a creature of imaginations. He is a creature of various moods and emotions. And by degrees, he has complicated his concept of natural law. He has also complicated his concept of spiritual law. And out of his struggles to integrate a way of life, He has over-theologized the very simple problems of living. He has therefore taken simple truths everywhere observable, and he has organized concepts about them, creating sects and creeds and faiths and religions. And these have their own demanding allegiances. So by degrees, the individual searching for a pattern upon which to build his life comes into contact with patterns which are not entirely lawful, not entirely built upon simple and obvious facts, but upon a confusion of these things. Gradually, things which are not of the essence have been elevated above things which are essential. And today, the individual, in order to gain the strength of a faith, must make a series of undemonstrable acceptances. He can accept the law of evolution. He can accept the simple fact that nature is a magnificent framework of mathematical formulas. And he can prove this in the course of time. But there are other things which he is now expected to believe, which he cannot prove, such as abstract theological problems concerning the relative importances of the three persons of the Trinity, or the significance of the various sacraments, and whether or not the individual can be saved without baptism. These things, in their literal meanings, become confusing. And unless the person approaches them with a degree of insight by which he can unlock symbolism and allegory, he is likely to be confused. Most of the confusions of religions are due to the various methods used by teachers to bring ideas to persons on various levels of development.
Right.
Also, racial environments, time, circumstances, and the policies of ages have influenced the presentation of spiritual knowledge. The individual today is confused, not by the primary factors, but by the continuous emphasis upon things which he cannot demonstrate, which he must therefore accept or reject empirically. And he recognizes that he is not able to make these decisions reasonably, because in actual fact, some of these decisions cannot be made reasonably. The very problems involved representing unreasonable extensions which cannot be rationalized. Thus, in the presence of what we call acceptances today, the person has difficulty in making a total choice. He has trouble trying to associate himself with one creed or another creed. Some parts of these doctrines appeal to him. He senses their integrities. Others parts, perhaps, he does not understand and is willing to permit to remain in suspension. He is willing to acknowledge their possibility. And still other parts, his own experience warns him, may not be right for him, or might be unsuitable to the level of conduct on which he is functioning. Thus today, faith is no longer an acceptance of law. It is an acceptance of dogma, of various cults and creeds and teachings, many of which man finds difficult to cope with reasonably. This, however, should not discourage the really sincere person. For beneath all these different creeds and sects and dogmas, there is also the basic pattern of law. And as we go back to the sacred books, back to the teachings of the ancient prophets, back to the originals of these things, we find that their essential concepts are practically identical. That all of them began with the acceptance of a principle of good, and each emphasized in its own way that for man, virtue is living according to this principle, and that this virtue, this path of living according to law, is the beginning and foundation of all security for the individual. Without this pattern of living, man is not safe for himself or for others. Having thus come to at least a reasonable conviction, we move inevitably toward the future, realizing that the day must come when there will be a victory of the universal plan over all of the interpretations which man has imposed upon it. That a universal religion is conceivable. In fact, that it is inevitable. And man growing up will outgrow creeds and doctrines, but he cannot outgrow the laws which lie at the root of existence. Final religion must therefore be final acceptance of ultimate law. And in this acceptance, the development of a moral and ethical way of life, a way of life in obedience to those principles which will not change and to which man must ultimately come and acknowledge their supremacy. As it may take some time for the whole world to come to such a pattern, not as long perhaps as we think, because of the rapid development of our knowledge of the universe. As it will be some time, however, the individual may not find it necessary to wait until all others have achieved this before he too can share in the concept or in the understanding. Each individual is in a position to make these decisions for himself, to discover the law the moment he is willing to turn his attention upon the law. His own family, his home, his business, all of the common things with which he is familiar are also vehicles of this law, textbooks of it, forever revealing it. If his business fails, there is somewhere in this pattern a mistake relating to law.
Hold on, let me see what this video about. Let's see what they got. Hella quiet.
The Klan had 3 evolutions in its history as it evolved and altered its methods, tactics, and expanded its focus. All 3 movements have called for the purification of American society, and all are considered far-right extremist organizations. During each period of the Klan's existence, the official membership was secret, and estimates of the total numbers of members was unknown, and they were highly exaggerated by both friends and enemies alike. The first Klan was founded in Pulaski, Tennessee, on December 24, 1865, by 6 former officers of the Confederate Army. They were Frank McCord, Richard Reed, John Lester, John Kennedy, J. Calvin Jones, and James Crow. It started innocuously as a fraternal social club inspired at least in part by the then largely defunct Sons of Malta, perceived as an offshoot combined of the old Knights Templar and Teutonic Knights. The KKK adopted many of the initiation rites and formal ceremonies of those previous organizations with the same purpose of fraternity, solidarity, and most of all, political power, which today in hindsight is laughable as well as tragic. The official KKK manual describing these rituals was printed by Laps D. McCord of Pulaski, Tennessee. The Klan also needed a distinguishing uniform, which later in their history would become notorious: robes, and hence their adopting the Spanish capirote hood. Former Confederate Brigadier General George Gordon, for whom Fort Gordon, Georgia was named for, developed the prescript, which supported the superiority of white society and culture and adopted and taught white supremacist beliefs. They created the ranking system, and at the top of the KKK was the Imperial Wizard, or the National President. Below this were the Grand Dragons, who governed an individual state, called a realm. Then there were the Grand Magis, or Deputy Commanders, and then the Grand Cyclops, responsible under the Grand Dragons for establishing and maintaining recruitment standards. Below them were the Kleagles, who were managed and who were responsible for recruiting and vetting of new members. The rest of the members were the Klansmen, or the foot soldiers, and enforcers. Confederate General Nathan Bedford Forrest was elected the first Imperial Wizard, and stated that he was the Klan's national leader. Forrest was very concerned about the Republican influence growing among the blacks in the South. Despite its apparently well-structured appearance, the Klan had no membership rosters, no named chapters, and no listed local officers, so it was difficult to judge its membership. Due to the heavy response by President Andrew Johnson and the increasing numbers of federal soldiers into the southern states as a result, Forrest called for the Klan to disband in 1869. He stated that it was being perverted from its original honorable and patriotic purposes, becoming injurious instead of subservient to the public peace. Historian Stanley Horn argues that, generally speaking, the Klan's end was more in the form of spotty, slow, and gradual disintegration than a formal and decisive disbandment. Despite Gordon's and Forrest's work, local Klan units never accepted the prescript and continued to operate independently without any form of command and control. Historian George C. Rabel argues that the Klan declined in strength in part because of internal weaknesses, its lack of central organization, and the failure of its leaders to control criminal elements and sadists. More fundamentally, it declined because it failed to achieve its central objective, the overthrow of Republican state governments in the South. Historian Elaine France Parsons describes the membership, quote, "Lifting the Klan mask revealed a chaotic multitude of anti-black vigilante groups, disgruntled poor white farmers, wartime guerrilla bands, displaced Democratic politicians, illegal whiskey distillers, coercive moral reformers, sadists, rapists, white workmen fearful of black competition, employers trying to enforce labor discipline, common thieves, neighbors with decades-old grudges, and even a few freedmen and white Republicans who allied with Democratic whites or had criminal agendas of their own. Indeed, all they had in common, besides being overwhelmingly white, Southern, and Democratic, was that they called themselves, or were called, Klansmen." Another historian, Eric Foner, observed, "In effect, the Klan was a military force serving the interests of the Democratic Party, the planter class, and all those who desired restoration of white supremacy. Its purposes were political, but political in the broadest sense, for it sought to affect power relations, both public and private, throughout Southern society. It aimed to reverse the interlocking changes sweeping over the South during Reconstruction, to destroy the Republican Party's infrastructure, undermine the Reconstruction state, re-establish control of the black labor force, and restore racial subordination in every aspect of Southern life. To that end, they worked to curb the education, economic advancement, voting rights, and right to keep and bear arms of black people. The Klan soon spread into nearly every Southern state, launching a reign of terror against Republican leaders, both black and white. Those political leaders assassinated during the campaign included Arkansas Congressman James M. Hines, 3 members of the South Carolina legislature, and several men who served in constitutional conventions. The Klan primarily focused upon suppressing black voters, and a political campaign often turned deadly. More than 2,000 people were killed, wounded, or otherwise injured in Louisiana in the few weeks leading up to the presidential election of November 1868. One example was in St. Landry Parish, which had a registered Republican majority of 1,071. The Klan's efforts proved effective because after the murders, no Republicans voted in the fall elections. White Democrats cast the full vote of the parish for General Ulysses S. Grant's opponent, Democrat Horatio Seymour. The KKK also killed and wounded more than 200 black Republicans hunting and chasing them down. In the governor's race in Columbia County, Georgia, 1,222 votes were cast for Republican Rufus Bullock, so the Klan got involved. By the November presidential election, the Klan's intimidation suppressed the Republican vote, and only one person voted for Grant. As a result, the 1871 Civil Rights Act allowed the president to suspend habeas corpus. This means that the traditional right to be brought before a court or a judge to appeal for bail or challenge an unlawful detention could be suspended, and was in fact suspended by Lincoln during the Civil War. During this period, the Florida Freedmen's Bureau records provided a detailed recounting of Klansmen's beatings and murders of freedmen and their white allies, numbering 150 dead in voting intimidations. As a result of these actions, in 1870 and 1871, the federal government passed the Enforcement Acts, which were intended to investigate and prosecute Klan crimes. While racism was a core belief of the Klan, initially anti-Semitism was not. Many prominent Southern Jews identified wholly with Southern culture, resulting in examples of Jewish participation in the Klan until they too were included as targets. The second era of the Klan started in 1915 as a small group in Stone Mountain, Georgia. It expanded membership nationwide in the early and mid-1920s, including urban areas of the Midwest and West, with Kansas being a large Klan stronghold. The various independent Klan organizations often took a position of supporting prohibition and compulsory public education for white children, although blacks were not to be educated if possible, and if they were, only in segregated schools. The Klan received its greatest propaganda boost of its entire history when film director D.W. Griffith released his 1915 silent film, The Birth of a Nation, which took great liberties with the truth surrounding the creation and activities of the first Klan. This was when the Klan was resurrected by William Joseph Simmons in Georgia due to the popularity of the film. Simmons relied on the original founding documents from the original Klan and collected the stories, relying upon the memories of some surviving elders. When the film was shown in Atlanta in December of 1915, Simmons and his new Klansmen paraded to the theater in their robes and pointed hoods, even riding on robed horses, imitating those scenes in the film. In the film, the Klan was represented as white knights of the nation's conscience, protecting white virtue and white women from the ravaging sexually aggressive Negro. The public response was very positive as a result, but the film did not mention lynchings, other murders, and voter intimidation. Within the first 6 months of the association's national recruitment campaign, Klan membership had increased by 85,000 by 1920. By the mid-1920s, the organization's membership ranged from 3 to 8 million members. The Klan also began to become deeply involved in politics, even more so than in the 1860s to 1870s, as they knew that they needed pro-Klan Democratic members in state and federal government to block Republican actions targeting their organization. They needed politicians who would support Jim Crow laws and keep the federal government out of their business. They were described as being the acting military arm of the Democratic Party and were attributed with helping white Democrats regain control of state legislatures throughout the South through voter intimidation and ridiculous literacy and cognitive tests against black voters. In 1923, Simmons was ousted as leader of the KKK by Hiram Wesley Evans. From September 1923, there were 2 Klan organizations, the one founded by Simmons and led by Evans in the southern United States, and a separate group led by Grand Dragon D.C. Stevenson based in Indiana, with its membership primarily in the Midwestern United States. However, despite their rather successful advances into the political arena, public opinion was against the Klan, and membership rapidly declined in the latter half of the 1920s. Infighting from various Klan groups, as well as federal law enforcement opposition, brought about a collapse in the membership of both groups. Membership had dropped to about 30,000 by 1930, and finally faded away in the 1940s. 30,000. The third incarnation of the Klan was resurrected in the early 1950s in the form of localized and isolated groups that used the KKK brand name locally but had no connected affiliation. They opposed the civil rights movement of the 1950s and 60s, such as when they fought against Brown versus Board of Education and imposed separate but equal as their justification. During this period, they often infiltrated Southern police departments, schools, and governor's offices, such as George Wallace of Alabama. Several members of the Klan groups had beaten the Freedom Riders in 1961, murdered civil rights workers, such as Medgar Evers, by Klansman Byron Della Beckwith in 1963. Some were convicted of murder in the deaths of civil rights workers in Mississippi in 1964 and of children in the bombing of the 16th Street Baptist Church in Birmingham, Alabama in 1963 and killing Viola Liuzzi in 1965. These activities saw the KKK classified as a hate group by the Anti-Defamation League and the Southern Poverty Law Center. The final demise of the original Klan arrived in the form of a senseless murder of 19-year-old black male Michael Donald in 1981 and a trial that made history in Alabama. In 1987, the Klan was successfully sued in federal court in a historic $7 million verdict against the men involved in the lynching of Donald. But Robert K. Byrd, the Democratic leader and longtime senator, was a Klan recruiter in the 1940s. He described the organization as a group of upstanding people, doctors, lawyers, clergy, judges, who he thought could provide an outlet for his talents and ambitions, and also supported his opposition to communism. Byrd claimed to have left the KKK in 1946, but encouraged by the Grand Dragon of his KKK branch, and with Klan money, Byrd ran on the Democratic ticket for both state and federal offices. The Klan funded him throughout his career. Byrd opposed Brown versus Board of Education, supported Jim Crow laws, and separate but equal racial laws. He joined James Strom Thurmond Sr., who also helped him in opposing racial equality laws, also opposed the Voting Rights Act of 1965 and the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and ran with Klan money. Byrd called civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. as a self-seeking rabble-rouser. Both Hillary Clinton and Joseph Biden proudly proclaimed Senator Robert K. Byrd to be their mentor. Buildings still carry Byrd's name in exaltation. The United States government still considers the Klan to be a subversive terrorist organization. Currently, the Anti-Defamation League puts total KKK membership nationwide at around 3,000, while the Southern Poverty Law Center claims 6,000 members in total. The Ku Klux Klan became notoriously immortalized by its actions, origins, and total creation by the Democratic Party, which supported and funded Klan activities to include political and criminal enterprises. Remember this when you hear people claim that Republicans are fascists. Republicans were hated and targeted by the Klan, and for good reason.
We hope you enjoyed this segment of Forgotten History. Please click like and subscribe for free.
History.
And please stay tuned. And
I don't know if it's so forgotten, but
that is,
I get what he means, though.
is built upon a lawful concept of barter and exchange. If his personal life does not work out, there is some lack of harmony, some lack of proportion and relation, and the solution must lie in the law. Everywhere the law operates, in the life of man and in the smallest creature. In fact, it is most clearly manifest in some of the lowest kingdoms of nature, where laws operate because there is no rational individual mind to interfere with their natural motions.
Right.
Having the concept of law firmly in our consciousness, we then begin to search for it, and have always known and held that what we seek, we are most likely to find. The reason why we have not found justice in nature is because we have sought for injustice. The reason why we do not find the good in others is because we prefer to approach other people critically and find out what is wrong with them. This forever searching for that which is not good, this forever recognizing the mistake rather than the virtue, this continuous taking of things apart, this attitude of universal criticism, which man has mistaken for intellectual maturity, is responsible for the fact that he has systematically overlooked the good in almost everything. Today, when we talk about other people, we spend 1 minute on their virtues and an hour on their delinquencies. We are also very apt, in the case of others, not even to express our own knowledge of what is wrong with them.
Right.
We accept the criticisms of neighbors, acquaintances, and associates, enemies, and friends. We do not even bother to find out whether these things are true or not. We assume that they are true because they are negative. And anything that is an expression of something wrong must be true. This is due to what we call the analytical instinct. We like to assume that maturity is this particular attainment of intellectual integration, by means of which we can discover with some exactitude what is the matter with everything. We also then have the added privilege of sort of sitting in judgment from a condition of aloof virtue. In our hunting, we seldom, if ever, seek to find out what is wrong with us. We are too busy helping to diagnose the rest of humanity. The fact that everyone else is wrong also seems to give us a certain justification for being likewise. If no one else has been able to make much of a job of living, then we should not be criticized if we do no better. It is all a kind of lazy person's escapism. Also, it is rather convenient to our own selfishness to find an illegal world. The individual who really believes that the world is honest has greater difficulty in explaining his own dishonesty. The reason why he is able, with a good hope, to live below the standard of his own ethics is because he doubts in himself that there is any ethical criterion. It is impossible for him to believe in good and act contrary to it. Therefore, if he is acting contrary to it, he does not believe it.
On that note, I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Yeah, I'm out. Until next time. Yeah. Peace, y'all. Maybe 2 weeks, maybe a week or so, I'll be back. Alright?